Hello traders, and welcome to another weekly market overview. And in this one I'm going to update you on how the market has developed from last week, and also we're going to go over how we plan to capitalize on the moves that the market will make in this coming week. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's get into the value. So the first chart that you have in front of you, as always, is the DXY. Now, what happened last week? Last week, we planned to capitalize on this potential double bottom move, and we can obviously see that the market clearly showed no sign of bullishness, and last week we just saw this bearish run, and that invalidated our potential double bottom. So now going into next week, what kind of move are we looking for on the DXY? Now this coming week we need to be very attentive to price action. Why? Because we could be taking a possible shorting opportunity. Obviously that is something that I personally do not want to do, and if I can avoid taking a short on the DXY, I definitely will. But this is where price action really proves its importance. So how can we approach the DXY in the coming week? Now, if we see a corrective pattern developing here into this resistance zone here, we can definitely expect to take a shorting opportunity from this resistance here that was support in the past. Now, if that my mistake, let's just remove that brush tool. Now, if that does not happen and we see a complete change of structure, the next move we'll be looking for is, we want to see, let's use arrows instead, we want to see this market break above this support structure that we were planning on capitalizing on in the previous week, and we want to see that retest of this support structure. And on the retest, we will use this support as what it is, support, and we will definitely be taking this longing opportunity. Our first targets will definitely be at this next, let's just delete this, I thought it was on rectangle. Our next targets will definitely be at this resistance zone on the top. So this is the move that we hope to capitalize on in the coming week, but we can't put aside this bearish run here. We can't neglect the fact that we can see price action selling off. So the next market that we're going to get into is Aussie CAD. Now, what happened last week? Last week we had this ascending type pattern, and as you guys know, we were looking for a shorting opportunity right here on the third touch of this ascending type pattern. Now, as you can see, that the market did not give us any sign of slowing down, no rejection whatsoever. The market just broke through this resistance line here, this resistance trend line here, and basically created a false breakout, because we saw the market we saw the market give us this impulsive move back into structure. That proves that this was a false breakout, and this was only to get liquidity and trap people on the wrong side of the market. Now, we actually did capitalize on this opportunity last week. We saw, after this impulsive move back into structure, we had this zone marked out here as support. We saw the market break below the support. We saw one rejection here with this nice pin bar here. The market pushed away from this area, came back to this area for the second time, and at this area we saw this engulfing candlestick here, which was my entry. My stops were above this high here, and as usual, 1 to 3 risk reward. That was somewhere just about here. Okay, that's 3.2, but anyway, just about here, and targets were hit in a matter of about 4 hours, or what, like 5 hours, yeah, something like that. So going forward, how we plan to capitalize on Aussie CAD, let's go back to the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour, now we have this structure here, the structure here within our ascending type pattern. So the next move that we could be looking for is any type of rejection that will happen at this resistance zone that was support here. Any type of rejection, maybe if we find some type of double top or reversal structure, triple top, whatever it comes, whatever the market gives us, if we see a rejection from this zone, we'll definitely be looking for the shorting opportunity, and this time we will extend our targets a little bit lower, hopefully to these lows here, because if we see this retracement back to this zone, what kind of pattern will we be completing? We will be, where's this drawing tool? Let's just get the drawing tool. We will be completing an impulse and a correction into this zone and the next impulse. Now we know the market always moves in impulse, correction, impulse, and this is the move that we're going to hope to capitalize on in the coming week. So the next market that we're going to look at is Aussie CHF. And on the 4-hour chart, we can see that we did plan to capitalize on an opportunity back at the third touch of the structure, and like Aussie CAD, we saw this false breakout over here. Now going forward, how we plan to capitalize on this is we can clearly see that the market did create this resistance here. So we will be looking for the market to create this retracement back into this resistance zone and create this odd looking head and shoulders type pattern, and from this area, this is where we'll be looking for our selling opportunity with our targets right down at the 90% rule of this ascending type pattern. And that's our quick analysis on Aussie CHF.
Click, click, align sound. Click, click, align sound. Now the next market that we're going to get into is pound US dollar, and I feel like this is such an interesting pair to watch in the coming week because quite frankly it's been happening on the pound. So anyway, going forward into our analysis, what we can see is that we have this ascending type pattern that is drawn out here. Now, aside from this ascending type pattern, we also have this potential double top zone here. Now, let's actually put a rectangle instead of a line, because
these are zones and not specific price lines. So we also have this double top region here. Now we can already see all the confluence that's coming into this market with our first touch, our second touch there, and our possible third touch within this resistance zone here, which could also give us a potential double top. Now what we will be expecting, or how we will plan to capitalize on this market, is that if we see some type of double top pattern in this zone, or whatever reversal pattern, I don't know what reversal patterns you trade, but if we see some type of reversal pattern in this zone, this will definitely be a valid sell entry. And with pound US dollar, we won't be so extravagant with our targets. We'll look to take our targets here at this previous support here, just so that we don't end up in a position that we're holding for too long, because yeah, I just don't like holding positions for a very long period of time. But anyway, this is the position that we're looking for on pound US dollar. We're looking for any type of reversal structure at the third point of our ascending type pattern that will take us to these targets down here at this previous support region, where the market found the rally to where we are currently at now. So let's just draw an arrow, and this is the position that we are looking to capitalize on pound USD. The next pair that we're gonna have a look at is CAD yen, and from last week we had this resistance zone up here which we were waiting for the market to tap into, and obviously the market did not tap into this zone, and on the 1 hour we got a head and shoulders pattern right here. We saw this head and shoulders pattern play out here, and the market broke down to the downside. Now going forward, how we plan to capitalize on this market is, let's go back to the 4-hour. We want to see a retracement back up to this resistance zone here, because this is where we will have good probabilities and a better risk reward to take the short down to the support structure here, because essentially we can see that CAD yen was in this range and we broke out of the range and came back into the range. So we are still within the range. Although this is an impulsive leg, this gives us the direction that we want to trade. We see that there's an impulsive move to the downside, so we don't want to be buying into an impulsive down move. We want to be selling, or rather we want to be trading in the direction of the momentum, and we can see that the momentum is to the downside here. So we'll definitely only be looking for selling opportunities from this area here. Very simple setup to look for on CADJPY.